first thing is the fire training school is on Plum Trees Road in the 4th Ward. It is operational, and the city of Danbury's paid and volunteer fire departments use that, as well as other municipalities utilize it. So, and it's been operating very well recently. Haven't had constituent issues with regard to that. This new bill would create a process. The bill that's pending before the legislature would create a process where fire schools and municipalities can obtain authorization to go regional, and become a regional fire school. In the past, they had to get specific legislative authorization each time. This creates an administrative process. My understanding, and I think it's still pending tonight in the Senate, is that the senator has introduced an amendment. I don't know if he's called it on the floor, but he's at least drafted an amendment that would remove the public hearing aspect of that bill. And what's important there is this bill, to allow an application process for regional fire schools, has a public hearing component so the constituents and the residents in the area can speak on it and either support, detract, ask questions, whatever it may be. We always want to get as much residential input from our constituents, input from our residents as possible. So I just don't understand why anyone would even think of stripping out a public hearing portion of a bill. I hope the amendment's not called. I certainly hope it doesn't pass. But the fact that it was drafted, I was very concerned about that. I understand other legislators are working on trying to make sure it doesn't happen, that we keep the public hearing portion of that bill in place so that becomes law, so the public can speak on those issues which they should be allowed to.
I think, as you know very well, that a few years ago there was a situation at Terrywile in which a land swap that was attempted to be done without public's input, and that resulted in Mr. Tabersack introducing a regular.
At that time, there was no requirement.
Right.
There was no requirement for public hearing, so nobody was breaking any existing law.
No, absolutely not.
But it did lead, and Council Democrats asked for this, and myself and others lobbied at the state capitol. Joe Tabersack led the charge in committee to add a public hearing requirement to the sale or lease of city land. This has allowed the public to give us information, input that we maybe would not have been aware of. It's been very helpful. And this is sort of the same thing. We don't want to limit public participation. We want to get the public to participate more because we're their elected representatives. We need to hear from them. They need to be part of this process. So I certainly hope the bill passes without the amendment. I'm hopeful that it will, and we'll go from there.